What is going on, divine beings? That's Divinity coming back to you all with another video. This is going to be our part 2 video on Mercury times air versus water. If you haven't already, go ahead and watch our part 1 on this video series where we break down Mercury and air versus Mercury and water. If you haven't already, go ahead and press that subscription button, as well as press the notification bell to stay updated on when your boy posts. Also, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and share this video with anyone that you think would resonate with this information, or with anyone that or anyone that maybe has a Mercury in air or a Mercury in water aspect. Also, go ahead and drop a comment down below if you want more videos like this. Tell me your Mercury sign down below and your Mercury's house placement as well. And also, guys, just go ahead and enjoy this video. Thanks for watching and, giving me your time. Thank you. That's Divinity. So when it comes to Mercury in a water sign, they have so many different angles or lenses that they're viewing from. And if you understand anything about water, whenever you look at the surface of water and you try to look beneath the surface of water, you can be fooled by what it is that your eyes are showing you, or whatever it is that you're seeing, just for the simple fact that water does something called refract light. And refract light simply just means that it reflects it, or it bends light, and it shows you another angle opposite to whatever angle that you are, viewing from. So if you put an object inside of water, water will literally show you pretty much like the opposite of whatever it is that you're trying to see. And by that, I mean this. So like whenever you put an object into water, let me cut down my brightness over here because the screen want to read it especially bright. So whenever you put an object into water, it will literally appear as if it's in another spot than what it's actually in. So when you think about water, water is like a magnifying glass, or water can be compared to a mirror. Let me show you this, with the light coming in at one angle on one side of the triangle and it coming out looking another way on the other side of this triangle, or what we call a prism. A prism is something that bends light, and so it bends light and it manipulates it in these ways. So whereas the light is coming through clear on the other side, it's coming out in an array of colors on this side. And so with a water sign Mercury, they view things in that same exact manner in which I just showed you all. And so because they view things in so many different perspectives, they could easily drift off into different layers of those lights. They could literally drift off into different layers or shades of expression just based off of seeing one image. So literally water sign Mercuries are like a mirror inside of a mirror, like a mirror that's like continuously projecting its own image inside of itself. And it has so many different images that sometimes they could get lost in certain images. And the way a Mercury and air gets lost is different from the way a Mercury and water gets lost. And so a Mercury and water sign, they see things from the expansiveness of our spirits, because water is the spirit realm in and of itself. And I say that just for the simple fact that water goes so deep to the point where the sunlight cannot penetrate certain parts of the water's depths, certain parts of the ocean, certain parts of great bodies of water, and the light cannot penetrate it, meaning that literally light or water, it puts light out, or it snuffs light out, just the same way if you threw water over a flame, it will put it out. Just the same way if you put water on an electric device, and it would short circuit the electricity, which is literally just light inside of that device. And so water causes things to appear different than they actually are. And sometimes with water, the water just casts different reflections. And just the same way you can see this light on here now, but you can barely see the reflection. You see what I'm saying? So water causes you to not see that reflection so easily because it reflects light. And water is also the absence of light as well as the reflection of light. So it will take light and it will run with it, and it will show you something different than what you thought you were even supposed to be looking at. And so I say all of that to say that a Mercury and water, they see from the deepest, darkest depths, And remember, I stated that the parts of the ocean that go so deep that there's no sunlight, right? Well, that represents, or it symbolizes, the connection to the spirit realm that we have. There's so many parts of the spirit realm that go beyond what our eyes are willing to show us, what our eyes are able to compute and read. And even with that, just stating about the eyes, it's not even just the eyes, it goes beyond the five physical senses that we have. And so when it comes to the spirit realm, we have those same five senses as well in the spirit realm. So people with a Mercury and water, their mind is constantly floating around in the deepest, darkest depths of the spirit realm, because water represents the subconscious, and it represents things that we do on a scale that is very subtle to us. Just the same way you're focusing on the light that is on my face in order to see me doing everything that I'm doing as I'm talking. You're hearing me talk, but you're also confirming that I'm talking with looking at me as I speak. And as I do all of these things that are in alignment with me speaking, it correlates and it makes more sense. Well, with water, because you can't see certain aspects, sometimes it doesn't make that much sense to you. If I was covering the camera and you're just hearing me, some of these examples that I'm giving, you wouldn't be able to compute them or understand them if I was solely just speaking. So some of these, that's why I give a visual example. So water sign Mercury's, a lot of things that they speak on, they have to give visual examples to other people, or else it's not going to be understood in the moment. Because a Mercury and air, they're listening for only the moment. They're not listening for the past, present, and future. They're not listening for the fullest depths of your soul. Because think about it, a water sign, a water element, it represents the subconscious. The subconscious part of our brain, which is the right hemisphere of our brain, it represents all the depths of experience that we have experienced or encountered during our lifetime on earth. So imagine if you were able to literally compute every thought that you have ever thought in your whole life, in the sum of your whole life. Water signs represent the sum of your entire existence and even your past experiences. And so even with that, we understand that we don't have access to all of our past lives readily. We have to dig deep in the ethers of our subconscious to even access parts of our past lives. So it's just like with water sign Mercury's, they just come packed with so much information, more information than they can even relay to you all at once. So sometimes with a Mercury and water, it could look like they're not even understanding what you're stating, because water, before it even speaks, it listens. So Mercury and water signs are those people that listen way before they speak, and water is a receptive element. And if you've seen that study that talked about how water can be shaped based on the words that you say, water has a memory retaining mechanism, and it has a memory retaining mechanism just for the simple fact that it can mirror things, and because it mirrors things, it's able to hold those light particles that it mirrored, and it's able to store them and save them, and it's able to mold itself to whatever it comes into contact with. Water can fit whatever you put it into. If I put water inside of this little singing bowl, it's gonna fit this singing bowl exactly as it is. If you stand in front of a body of water, imagine this phone reflection as the body of water. If you stand in front of a body of water, you're going to see your reflection on the water. So water literally can mirror anything that it comes into contact with, even light. And so getting into how Mercury and water signs speak, they cast so many different reflections, and sometimes it's not direct because it's so many different alterations of that one thing. And so these are the type of people that use a lot of symbols when they speak. They use a lot of metaphors. They use pretty much a lot of figurative language. And that's where Mercury doesn't really like these signs, because Mercury naturally rules over Gemini, and it naturally rules over Virgo. And Gemini is an air sign, which is light on its feet. It keeps moving. It keeps going. And its motion never really stops. And so that's why Mercury in air is much more able to retain what it is that they're speaking on much more than a water sign Mercury, because they're speaking on so many different planes of existence all at one time, meanwhile trying to entertain that Mercury in air that's able to speak and utilize their words very quickly at a quick manner. They're able to gather their thoughts really fast, and they're able to say whatever it is that they're trying to state at a quick rate, and they're able to move on to the next thought at a very quick rate. They're able to leave off that thought and go to another thought. It's just like having multiple tabs open on your window screen, but you're able to navigate all of them with much more ease than a water sign, because you got to think about it. Whenever you're traveling inside of water, you have to travel much more slowly. And I'm speaking this way just for the simple fact that I know a lot of my air sign Mercuries are out there just like, yo, what the fuck is you talking about? What the fuck is you speaking on? I know some of this probably did make sense because of the way I broke it down, but it's just like I have to go in and out of the different elements in order to like fully explain them and how they operate and how they, like to communicate, because we're speaking on Mercury, which is communication. And I've been speaking very slow so that I can maintain my train of thought. And a water and Mercury, they could lose their train of thought very easily, because it's like I stated, we're looking from so many different perspectives, and sometimes people are not willing to look through all of those lenses with us in the time frame in which we're trying to gather all these images together to show people something. But that's why I literally made a YouTube, and that's why I literally made a TikTok, in order to break all of this information down for my people that like these long-winded videos. So Mercury and air, like I stated, they just move very fast throughout their thoughts. And the Mercury and Earth, they're going to be much more stable in their thoughts, just for the simple fact that Earth is a solid. It can be very solid. So I'm not going to say that it is solid, because, it has different variations and different forms. Just like if you put water into mud, because the mud, or if you put water into dirt, the dirt is the soil of the Earth. So, Earth can be as fine as soil, and it can be as rigid and hard and rough as a rock. And it can also be as firm and flexible as a twig, or a new plant that is growing or germinating. So, Earth has many different forms as well, and even as soft as your skin. You feel me? Because your skin is made up of the Earth and different components or different elements that come from the Earth as well. And so even with that, getting back into like our Mercury and water. So Mercury and water, they're perceiving from so many different channels in the spirit realm that sometimes we're reading from other people's energies, all while trying to maintain like focus to the conversation, like focus to the video. So I'm perceiving everyone's energy that's in my house. Meanwhile, I'm also trying to perceive this conversation that I'm having with you in order to stay relevant to this topic. So it's like Mercury and water signs, because think about with water, if you drop something in the water, it's literally going to ripple out. So every time I hear someone move, it's a new ripple in my water. And I have to tell myself, hey, I don't have to pay attention to every ripple that comes into this water. And so with a Mercury and water trying to communicate with the Mercury and air, they will be so, not distraught, that's not the right word. They will be so flabbergasted at the fact that sometimes your ability to focus is deeper than what is actually on the surface. Because remember, the surface will show you one thing, but under the water it will show you a whole entire other thing. And so when people are not that deeply submerged into your energy, some people aren't aware that you are actively listening to multiple channels all at once. Some people are only able to perceive what's in front of them while it's in front of them. So that's why Mercury and air have good focus, because they're only able to perceive what's in front of them while it's in front of them. And it's like they knew what driving thoughts sent them to you in the first place, because their mind is very sharp in that manner, in that they are very punctual when they are approaching their thoughts. And many times when their thoughts come to them, it is a very like energetic field thought, because they feel the energy in words, and they're able to use these energies very quickly and able to sift through them in order to get a desired outcome. So it's like whenever they don't get that desired outcome, that's when they know that something just wasn't right with whatever conversation that they had. And this literally shifts them, or registers, it puts what am I trying to say? It literally causes their system to malfunction. So it's like they have to stop, and they have to implement whatever thoughts they had prior to you coming to them. So their minds are literally like technology, in that technology, just like with Siri, how it's programmed, their minds are programmed, and their communication systems are programmed in that they will generate exactly that which was searched up. So it's like how a computer will tell you exactly, it already knows, but it's going to pinpoint something to you. It's pinpointing or highlighting information to you. So it's like, it's very hard for pinpointing and highlighting information to lose its grasp or hold on your motives, because Mercury also talks about your motives and what inspires you to push after a certain thing, and what inspires you to have movement or direction or flow, because air talks about different channels of flow that we have, right? So that was some about Mercury and water slash Mercury times air, because I want to just contrast the two. Also, I created, I think already, 2 videos on this already on my TikTok. So I'm gonna have to post those. Right, I created 2 videos on my TikTok, which are here. These 2 videos, they look just like each other. I'm wearing the same do-rag. So yes, these 2 right here, and I will combine those 2 and put them on my put them on my YouTube. And then this will be, so because those are 2 parts and I'm gonna put them into one, that will be part 1 and this will be part 2. Yeah, so that's been me signing out. Peace. Thank y'all for watching. If you haven't already, go ahead and press that like button and also press that subscribe button. Make sure you press that notification bell to stay updated on when your boy posts. And also drop in the comments down below what your Mercury sign is. If you have made it this far to the video, drop your Mercury sign down below, and also drop like a blue heart down there below with it, so I could know that you made it this far in the video. Blue heart, just for the simple fact that my do-rag is blue, but I didn't think about it at first. But also blue heart, I mean, I just love the blue heart, period. But also blue because we talking about Mercury and water, you feel me? You can even add a little razzle dazzle and add a white and a blue heart, because we talk about Mercury and air too, primarily. Well, I know we talked about earth, but we primarily talked about Mercury and air and Mercury and water. So that's your video, signing out. Peace. Thank you for watching. All that good stuff. Stay tuned for more content just like this coming down the line. Also, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and follow me on my TikTok as well as my Instagram if you haven't done those things already either. And stay tuned, like I stated already, for more info like this coming in the future. That's the video, signing out. Peace.